Learning English with English Faculties.
Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to untangle 7 of the absolute most confusing little words in the entire English language. If you're learning English for school, you probably already know that prepositions can feel like a giant, impossible puzzle. But seriously, don't worry. Today, we're going to use some incredibly simple mental pictures to lock these rules into your brain for good. So, let's start with a classic puzzle that trips up so many students. Ever wonder why we say we are riding in a car but on a bus? I mean, they're both vehicles, right? At first glance, it seems to make absolutely no sense. But the truth is, English prepositions actually follow a hidden logic based on shapes, space, and movement. By the end of our time together today, you're going to know exactly how to solve puzzles just like this one. Here's a quick look at our roadmap. We'll start with the preposition puzzle itself, move on to the triangle method for at, on, and in, look at boundaries with inside and outside, add movement with into and out, and then wrap up with some fun phrases and idioms. Let's jump right in.
Part 1. The Preposition Puzzle. Let's get the basics down.
Okay, so prepositions are basically the glue holding our English sentences together, but their rules can sometimes feel like a total maze. But check this out. Look at how the word is actually spelled. The word position is literally sitting right there inside the name, preposition. That's a massive clue for us. These little words simply tell us the position of a noun. They tell us exactly where something is or exactly when something happens.
Moving to Part 2. The Triangle. This covers the big 3. At, on, and in.
I want you to picture a triangle. Imagine the tiny, sharp point right at the very top. That represents at. It's for very specific, exact things. Now, move down to the middle section. It's a little bit wider, right? That's on. And finally, look at the big, wide base at the bottom. That is in. Getting this specific shape in your head is your secret weapon for mastering these 3 tricky words.
So how does the triangle method actually work in practice? Well, remember that tiny top point? At is for specific clock times, like at 5 o'clock, or specific exact places, like at the door. Down in the middle, on, is a bit broader. We use it for days of the week, like on Sunday, or flat surfaces, like on the table. Finally, that super wide base is in. In is for huge blocks of time, like in August, or really big, wide spaces, like in the city. Specific, wider, widest. It's kind of like zooming out on a map.
All right, Part 3, boundaries. Let's look at inside versus outside.
Let's trade in our triangle for a box. What is the real difference between in and inside? Well, think about it like this. You live in Australia, right? Australia is just a general massive area on a globe. But your socks, they are inside a drawer. The drawer is literally a box. It has actual physical walls holding those socks. So if there are physical walls wrapping around something, you really want to use inside. The exact same logic works for out and outside. You can just go out to leave a room, or say someone is out of the office. It basically just means you aren't there. But going outside has a very, very specific meaning. It means you are physically stepping past a building's borders and into the open air. Generally speaking, if you are outside, you can look up and see the sky.
Next up, Part 4, movement. Let's add some dynamic motion with into and out.
Okay, everything we've talked about so far has been static, meaning staying completely still. But now, let's add some action arrows. Say a cat is just sleeping inside a box. That's a static location. It isn't moving. But what if that cat takes a flying leap? It jumped into the box. When we add motion crossing from the outside to the inside, we combine words and use into. Think of it as a dynamic arrow pointing right through a doorway.
On the flip side, out is the exact opposite arrow. It tracks the action of leaving an enclosed space. Step 1, you start on the inside. Step 2, you walk across that boundary, like walking through a door. Step 3, you end up on the outside. You started inside and boom, you walked out of the building.
Let's do some rapid-fire examples to really lock this in. You can walk into the kitchen. A car can crash into a pole. You might run out of a burning building. You could climb out of a deep cave. Walking, crashing, running, climbing, honestly, the action doesn't matter. If you are actively moving across a border, you need your arrow words, into and out of.
Finally, Part 5, fun phrases and idioms. How we use these words every day.
English loves to use these little prepositions in some pretty cool creative ways. Take this idiom, for example. When something magically disappears, and we literally can't find it anywhere, we say it vanished into thin air.
It's almost like the object crossed a physical boundary and turned into the air itself. Fun fact, this beautiful phrase was actually invented by the famous writer William Shakespeare over 400 years ago.
And the word out is used all the time in conversational English to show that something is missing or broken or totally unexpected. Think about it. If a machine is broken, it is out of order. If you run way too fast, you are out of breath. Your air has literally left your body. If a crazy surprise happens, it came out of the blue. And if you step off the grass during a sports game, you are out of bounds.
Sometimes, these prepositions even team up to create a really powerful image. Take the phrase, out on the street. If someone loses everything and has absolutely nowhere to live, we say they are out on the street. Notice how it perfectly combines two rules we just learned? Out gives us the movement of leaving the boundary of a home, and on shows arriving to live on the flat surface of the sidewalk. It just paints a perfect mental picture.
So let's put your new skills to the ultimate test. If we arrive in a massive country and we stand on the flat surface of a moving train, what exactly do we say when we skydive from an airplane? Think about that boundary. We jump out of the plane, moving right into the open sky. Whenever you are speaking or reading English, just keep visualizing those triangles, those boxes, and those arrows. Keep practicing, and I promise, this tricky English puzzle won't be so impossible after all.